Hey everyone, this is Mike here. I'm the guy who created the sports card database. Now, I primarily set this up for my own collection, so I entered everything in from scratch from the database. But when I created this app for other people to use, I understand that a lot of people have been using Excel spreadsheets, and maybe you want to import your Excel spreadsheet into something like the sports card database that has perhaps a more visually appealing interface, and you can drag and drop photos and things like that. So let's say you have an Excel spreadsheet that's already set up. I'm going to go here and flip over to Excel and just show you a sample that someone sent me. Somebody was kind enough to send me how they set up their Excel spreadsheet with some basic fields like player data, their full name. You got the brand, the year of the cards, the description, is it graded, how much they paid, what they think the value is, all that good stuff. Some additional notes. I'm going to scroll over here, purchase date and the source, all that kind of stuff. So this is all good information that you may have in your Excel spreadsheet for collecting sports cards. Now, every person sort of sets their spreadsheet up differently. So it's kind of important for me on my end to be able to adjust and import data fields accordingly. So I'm going to go back to the sports card database. I'm just going to click demo. Now here's how I have it set up. Now if you notice something as simple as like the player name, I have it set up first name and last name in separate fields. But what were to happen if you have it just set up as player and you have a full name? And in this case, he has technically 3 names. You have to include the junior in there as well. So Ken Griffey Jr., the kid. Now, if you have something like this, you might think, oh, there's no way to properly import it because it's just all going to be messed up. Or let's say the graded area here, he just has PSA 8 set up. But then on my database, I have it set up separately for the grading company, and then the grade is separate as a pull-down menu. Now, if you think you're kind of screwed and you're not going to be able to import that, never fear. I set that up to have some formulas in the background, but it's all about the proper mapping of the field data into the sports card database. So that's what this video is about, setting this up on how to import. So I'm going to go through each step and just set it up. So let's say you want to now import your Excel spreadsheet into the sports card database. How are you going to do it? Well, that's what this video is all about. So what we want to do is we probably want to first delete all the cards that are part of this collection. You want to have an empty database, so when you import your Excel spreadsheet into it, you now have just your cards. You don't really want these sample 10 cards that are included in the demo. So the first thing you want to do is probably go to cards and select delete all cards. It's going to say, are you sure you want to delete them? Then it's going to say, are you really sure? And you just click OK, OK. Now we have an empty sports card database that we can properly import that Excel spreadsheet. Now, all we have to do is go under the Tools menu and select Import Collection from Excel File, or it's also under here. It's the exact same menu, but one note of reference is that I put Excel File because I assume that most people would be importing data from Excel, but it's really any type of file that has tab separated or comma separated data, anything that is sort of parsed in such a way that this particular database can import the data into each field. So many different applications, if you have it in a unique file format, it still may work as long as it's tab or comma separated data, or it's parsed in such a way that we can map those data entry fields. So we're going to go ahead and select import from Excel file. It's just going to tell you, you're going to select the Excel file, and then the next window after that, you're going to focus on the mapping column. So we say, got it. Now we're going to go ahead, and I got some junk on my desktop, but we're going to select that sample Excel file. And now here's where we actually are going to map the data. Now it says add, you're just going to leave that on add, you can click off that. So this is your source Excel file, and this is what you would have called your source data fields, and this is the target fields, or the fields that are within the sports card database. Now it's set to match any names. So for example, this sample file has year selected for the cards, and so that's already the exact same target field that I called it year, so they automatically set to map. Now one little thing is, if you see these 2 little scroll arrows over here, you can actually scroll through your Excel file and see sample data so that you know what your mapping is correct. Now this is the player name, and that's really his full name, and I don't have that set up as a separate field. So what we want to do is just we want to go into the target field and we want to select full. You just start typing it, and there's the full name. I have that in the background of the database so that it will then correctly map. Now we have brand. I happen to call that manufacturer, so I'm just going to go to man, and then you can see that. And once you type in these target fields, it will automatically select it to import. So we have description. I really didn't use description, but I selected that as a data field called card notes. So if you go to card notes, you can select that one. Now this one, let's scroll through. There we go. We have like a limited numbered edition of the card. So I called that limited numbering. Now here's another one where it's graded. Now this person used a combined grade, which includes the grading company as well as the grade. So I want to make sure that that maps correctly. So you type in grade and you see something called grade combined. So if you have combined your grade and grading company, just select grade combined. Now this is probably going to be how much did someone pay for this. So you say you paid how much. So you say paid or I called it purchase price. There we go. Purchase price, and then there's a value and a condition. That's all going to map correctly. And we can scroll down some more and we say purchase date, and then we have the source. That's where you bought it from. So I think I called it something from, purchased from. That's what I called it. And we can, again, see there's a big void right here. That's okay because, okay, we got condition. That's all right. That just means there's some values here that aren't going to need to be mapped at all. Like, is it a rookie card? Is it a jersey? Things like that. If this particular sample file doesn't really have any data there, but it does have the column. So we're actually good. That's all we need to do. We just want to make sure that you have the source fields from your Excel file mapping correctly to the target fields. Once we do that, we select import, and you get a nice little message that says, okay, you imported 65 cards and there was no errors. Okay, we're going to go ahead and scroll through that, and now you might see, hey, wait, there's a blank card here. Well, really that's just because the sample file I included had actually blank information here as well. So we just want to go through the list. We're going to go to the top. We'll see, okay, there's a blank card. It just did that. Let's just delete this guy. But there you have it. There's the data that has now been imported into the sports card database from this Excel spreadsheet. We can kind of go ahead and check. We have paid and value. We can kind of see that. There you go. Purchase price and value. We can scroll through each card. We can go back to the list, scroll through this, and again, you'll see some empty ones here. That's probably just because the Excel spreadsheet had some empty slots. So let's go ahead and we're going to scroll down, and I see there's a bunch of empty ones at the end. So we're just going to hit delete. It's kind of boring, but really if you start with a clean Excel spreadsheet, then you'll have an even cleaner input. But really this is all you have to do, and now we're back to the 56 card collection. So all this information has now been properly imported into the sports card database. Now if you had photos of that, you can just drag and drop. You can email your cards right from here. You can do all sorts of things. So that is really the import feature of how pretty much easy it is to import Excel data into the sports card database. It's just all about doing the proper mapping of that data. So hope this video helped out. Just wanted to show it up close and personal to kind of give, because I know it could be a little bit confusing. So if you have any questions, just shoot me a message or what have you, and hope you like it. Thanks.